welcome to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. My name is Kyle Case, and I'll be your host on this amazing journey as we attempt to help you get the most out of your life. Joining me in the studio today is my co-pilot, Jeff Harding. Jeff, how are you today?
Happy New Year, Kyle. I'm doing great.
It is the new year, isn't it?
It is. It's our first show in 2016.
Yeah, we had a couple of weeks off where we played some of our greatest hits.
They were great hits, too.
They were great.
They were great.
Yeah, they were great. And now we're back in the studio and excited to be here and ready for a new year.
Yes, we are.
So, did you have a good holiday?
It was lovely. I did that trip to California thing to see Disneyland.
You did the Disneyland
But
thing.
outside of that, it was great.
Yeah. Other than that, everything was awesome, right?
Right.
Well, I had a good holiday as well, but then the new year is here, and so, we did some resolutions. Do you do resolutions? Is that something that you normally do?
I resolved not to resolve.
You resolved to not make New Year's resolutions.
And I was able to keep that.
And have you been 100% so far?
100%. I've never failed on that one.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
I do set goals, but I don't resolve.
I see. Well, many of us do set New Year's resolutions, and it seems like it's the time, a new year, new beginning. It's just like it's the time to do it, right?
You feel kind of silly doing a New Year's resolution in June or July,
or April or whatever. Yeah. Although it's good to check in.
You can do it, yeah.
Or to set new ones as you go along. But many of us set New Year's resolutions. It's kind of a tradition,
right? And
many of us are, for whatever reason, unable to complete our New Year's resolutions.
Not everybody's as good as me.
That's true. That's true. You do nail it every year when you resolve to not resolve. You're 100%.
100%.
So, well, I've got 5 tips that might help other people who aren't quite as successful as you complete their New Year's resolutions.
Lay them on me.
Yeah. So, these tips refer specifically to working out, but I think that the principles can be applied to anything. Right. So, just ways to help you.
Well, and maybe it'll give me to resolve to change my resolve.
Maybe it will.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Probably not,
but possibly. All right. Here it is. Number 1, put your workout on your calendar.
That's true. I mean, if it's there, you schedule for it. You plan around it.
We tend to schedule things that are important. Business meetings, doctor's appointments, those kinds of things. They tend to go on our calendars.
Right.
Our workouts tend to go on a to-do list, which means that once everything else is done, if we have any time left, and all of your Netflix shows have been watched, maybe we'll get to the workout.
And you can't come up with another excuse.
Right?
Right.
So the idea is that you put it on your calendar, and then it becomes a priority, and you schedule yourself around that, and you're able to accomplish your workout.
Right, very good.
So instead of it, just becoming an afterthought, it ends up becoming a thing that you do.
Yeah.
So that's good. Tip number 1. Tip number 2: write down your goals. Now, I just barely said write them down on a calendar, but really write down your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. If we have the idea in our head, but it's not written down, a lot of times it just stays that idea. But go ahead.
I once heard that a resolution or a goal not written is just a wish.
Yeah, it's just a wish, right? So when we write them down and then put them in a place where we can see them and read them throughout the year or throughout
the bathroom mirror, on the refrigerator,
wherever it is, then it can help us stay focused and accomplish the things that we're trying to do.
I should get my grandkids to write them for me, because everything they do goes on the fridge. It does stay in the fridge.
Well, then you would have some resolutions.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, number 3. Here's another good one. I think this is a good one. Tell someone about your resolution.
Yeah.
You've heard that before, right? If you're trying to quit smoking or whatever it is, whatever your goal is, if you tell somebody, it tends to help move that along.
There's a measure of accountability.
There's some accountability. There's a cheerleader that's built in and those kinds of things.
Right.
So if you tell somebody that your goal is to work out, more often than not, you're able to have some accountability and achieve that goal.
Right.
At least that's what they said on MSN.com.
And they don't lie, because
I know they wouldn't.
Abraham Lincoln said, if it's on the internet, it is true.
So so this must be true.
It must be true.
All right. Number 4, ask for help or hire a coach.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the same thing, accountability.
Again.
But this time there's more skin in the game once you've got money involved.
Yeah. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And aside from that, which that is a consideration for sure, but oftentimes we have kind of just a vague idea of what it is that we want to accomplish. And if we can connect ourselves with a coach or with an expert or with a teacher, with a trainer who actually knows how to help us get there,
right?
The journey hopefully will be a more successful journey.
Well, And I know a great place where you can find coaches too.
Yeah. The Live Well Center.
The Live Well Center,
yeah,
yes.
and we're going to talk about that in just 1 minute after I share one more tip.
Okay.
And this is really closely related to hiring a coach as well, but that is to get yourself a workout buddy.
Yeah.
Somebody that you'll work out with. And you talked about the accountability, and it is true. It's really easy to hit snooze and sleep in if you're the only one that knows that you're going to go work out.
That's your plan,
But if
right.
you know that someone is at the gym waiting for you, you're more likely to get up.
Or else even waiting outside
Outside
your
your door to go for a walk,
or jog or whatever.
run,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So get yourself a workout buddy, and you're more likely to achieve your workout resolutions for the year.
Now let's go back to the segue. A great place to find a workout buddy.
As well as a coach or a trainer.
Or a coach or trainer, right.
Is at the Intermountain Live Well Center, and we're pleased to once again have our good friend Karen Schleider with us. Karen's been on the show before, and she is just an expert in a number of things, but she does act as a wellness and balance and mobility teacher. She works at the Live Well Center, and she's just an all-around very knowledgeable individual, and we're glad to have her with us. Thanks for being here, Karen.
Thanks for having me.
So
Happy to be back.
how was your holiday?
It was wonderful.
Good.
Very low key. Just enjoyed Snow Canyon and the beauty
Nice.
around us here.
Well,
you didn't go to Disneyland then?
No,
I-
I stayed away from there. I grew up next to there. I know this is the time of year to stay away.
Well, I knew that too, but my
Yeah.
son-in-law didn't.
No one filled him in.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
He now knows. Anyway,
Well,
Snow Canyon.
we're glad to have you here, Karen. We do live in a beautiful area. I'm glad that you were able to enjoy some of that during the holiday season and just get outside and get a break and just enjoy yourself.
Yep.
So wonderful, wonderful. Glad to have you here with us. So let me ask you, what do you think of these 5 tips on accomplishing your New Year's resolution? Make sense?
Absolutely. When we talk about writing it down, there's a phrase that's used that called SMART goals.
Yes.
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bounded. Helps you have a clear picture of what you're going to do and how you're going to get to it. But the last 2, of course, really hit home with me because it's that going to a place where you're accountable. And that's why a lot of our clients come to the Live Well Center is they sign up for a class. They've paid for it. They know that people are going to give them a call and say, hey, we've missed you. We haven't seen you for a week or 2.
Yeah,
and they get to be friends with the other clients that are in the class. And so having that social aspect and the accountability is huge for having sustainability with staying active.
It really is. Just that accountability is so important.
Oh, it really
we all
is.
want to think
Right.
that we have the willpower and that we're accountable to ourselves. And I think to some degree that's true. I think we all have something within us that allows us to do great things. I really believe in that. But man, it's sometimes hard. But when you get that accountability, you've got a friend or a coach or a trainer or somebody who can just really help you move along. It seems like for anything, whether it's a workout or quitting a bad habit or whatever it is, it seems like that's a better way to go.
Yeah, changing any behavior can be really challenging.
Absolutely.
And so where you've got support from others to help you change those behaviors and create a new habit, because it takes time. And we've all heard the term, it takes 21 days to create a new habit.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of new research that shows that it can take quite a bit
You can
longer.
still backslide after 21
yeah,
days.
and that having a support system to help you through is a great way to go.
Well, Karen, as you're looking at the population in general, is there something that you would say is something that would be fairly easy to change that in a behavior? The behavior
That we could all do,
that
we could all
do,
accomplish.
that would be that you'd throw out there. Hey, we're at the beginning of a new year. If you could just change one thing, this is what it would be, and your health would improve.
Absolutely. Move more.
Yeah.
To like California, where
Get up out
From
of your
California.
get up out of your chair.
Your body,
Walk,
okay.
move your body. Yeah, move your body more. That's the easiest thing that we can do to have the biggest health impact. And I'm not necessarily even suggesting it has to be what people would consider as exercise, a
Yeah.
structured exercise activity. Just getting up off the chair and moving around more.
It's we live in such an interesting time. We have so much technology and so many tools and gadgets and things that are available to us, and so much of our work is done with this technology that really, as a culture and as a community, we really have lost the need to move a lot.
Right, everything
when
comes to you.
When you're
Yes.
an agriculture society, you move or you don't eat. It's
Right.
just as simple as that. When you're a hunter-gatherer society, if you don't get up and go hunt, you're not going to eat. But here, I mean, really, it's almost a conveyor belt that just comes to you. Like Jeff said, everything just comes to you. And so that being said, where it's not a necessity anymore, it has to become a priority.
It does. And our bodies are not designed to be sedentary. As you said, we look at agrarian societies, that's what was our forebears.
Yeah.
But that's not how we are now. And what we're seeing is that in the U.S., over 50% of our population is not coming close to meeting the recommended lowest level physical activity
even a
levels.
minimum standard.
Even the minimum standards. People that are office workers generally sit 65% or more of their day.
I'm one of those, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when we look at the older adult population, TV time, a lot of computer time, a lot of hobbies are sedentary hobbies.
Yeah.
And it just really starts having a tremendous impact on our overall health.
You know, one of the, I distinctly remember seeing my dad watching a program that I know he really didn't like.
Yeah.
And I asked him, Dad, why are you watching that? He said, oh, your mother was watching it. She left the room a while ago. I said, why didn't you change the channel? I said, oh, the remote's over there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get out of his chair, walk 2 steps to get the remote, to not be watching a program
That he didn't want to watch in the first place. Well, it's true. And I mean, that's an example that you would think, well, that's kind of an extreme example, but really that's our lives.
It is.
You know, that's our lives. So
Yeah.
you're listening to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life, and we are visiting with Karen Schleider at the Live Well Center, the Intermountain Live Well Center. We're talking about moving more, which just happens to be one of the greatest things that we can do to enjoy the active life, which is the point of the show. So I don't think that comes as a surprise to anybody. I think we know that. I think we know that we're sedentary. I think we know that we're supposed to move more. I think we know that we're not moving enough. But somehow that's not translating into the actual doing. So what do you think, Karen? What are things that we can do that will move us from, I know I'm supposed to be doing more, but I'm not, to, I'm going to get up and go do something that will be good for me in the long run?
I think, first of all, for people to understand really how significant the impact is probably a starting point. And a lot of people may not realize that just being sedentary for a good portion of the day, which most of us are, that's what our lifestyle is like these days. There are over 30 specific chronic diseases that have been identified associated specifically with a sedentary lifestyle. So increased risk for stroke, cancers, multiple forms of cancer, increased high blood pressure, and the list goes on and on. So understanding that potential impact, and what's become very clear in the research is it's not just that physical or inactivity is a situation of go do more exercise.
Yeah.
It's really just getting up and moving more, and that being sedentary is a risk factor in itself. So even some of the research has shown that people that are doing physical exercise, so they may go do an hour of exercise, but then they are sedentary the rest of the day, they're still at those higher risk for all those different disorders that they can have.
Let me throw a different curve at it. We have desk jobs. So we do spend a lot of time at our desk.
We do.
But when I get home, it's almost the opposite. I have grandkids that live there. I sit down to have about a half hour worth of dinner. But from the time I get home, the time I go to bed, only about a half an hour of time is spent sitting down. Does that counterbalance, or is that still not doing enough? Do I still need to make sure I'm getting up every hour and walking around at the office?
So definitely the fact that you're more active when you get home, you're far beyond what many people are, because many people are in a sedentary job. They go home and they sit and they watch TV, or they're on their laptop, or they're on, their whatever. That's not keeping them active. So the more you move throughout the day, the better. So definitely continue that activity when you get home. On the job, what some of the research has shown is that as little as 2 minutes of movement every hour can make a significant improvement in your health.
Now, does that include if you just scoot your chair over here, get something out of your filing cabinet, scoot it back?
So you need to get up out of that chair. You've got to stand.
I do that probably 2 minutes every hour. But
in essence, what happens is when we're sitting, our body's postural muscles are not working as much. So when you're standing, you have more muscles of the body that are engaged, that are fighting gravity. Your core is working. You've got more muscle contractions happening throughout the body. And so just getting up and moving like that for even 2 minutes an hour, ideally if you can do more, great. But that's where you can look at where those opportunities are to get more activity throughout the day. So it can be getting up and going and getting items off the printer, not sitting and letting the print jobs queue up at the printer and you go
at the end of the day.
You go at the end of the
everything.
day, collect it all. So every time you need to print something, get up and get it. That's your opportunity. Take the stairs instead of taking the elevator.
we'll have to get some stairs at the office.
Yeah, we'll have to add a story to the building.
There you go. Look for opportunities to stand when you're working. So if you're doing a phone conference, don't sit. Stand up while you're doing that. If you're having a meeting with another individual, is it something where you can go walk around the building and have a talking meeting? So ways that you can just find to move more. Using a pedometer to track your movement activity can be a great motivator. And that goes back to the New Year's resolutions. Is
The accountability.
The accountability. It's a way to give you where you're at and to motivate you to try to get a little bit more in during the day.
Well, we've talked a little bit about how technology has created this problem, but there's also technology that has come out to help deal with it, and that's the standing workstations.
Yes. So there's a whole variety of standing workstations that are available. You can do very inexpensive solutions for it, of getting a tabletop and getting some taller table legs. That's in essence what I've done with my home workstation. At work, I have a small standing workstation that my laptop's on. I've got the keyboard on there. I've got the monitor on there. So I try to minimize how much I'm sitting throughout the day, and then moving and walking as much as I can. And I use an activity monitor to track what I'm doing so that it motivates me. There's even treadmill workstations that are available, and more workplaces are starting to put those in. Schools are starting to do flexible workstations that are adjustable, where the children can stand for a portion of the day, sit. They even have little fun bars that are where they put their feet, and it allows them to fidget their feet back and forth.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Well, I think it's worth noting that the last time that Karen joined us on the show, we talked about being active and so forth.
Right.
And she suggested during that show that we stand during our radio show.
Which she did.
Which she did. And then because we didn't want to seem uncool, we did as well.
her.
And then we've kept doing it.
Ever since we stand every show.
Yeah, so at least we know on Thursday we're going to stand up some of the day.
Yes, we get at least a half an hour.
So that's where you can lead by example. So when you start making changes in the workplace, if one person makes a change, it makes other people start thinking about it. When I got the stand-up workstation at work, more of my colleagues started saying, hey, can I use your workstation when you're not there using it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great. And you mentioned so many very simple and easy little things. I love what you've said. You said at the beginning, and that is that just moving more doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go do a regimented, running workout or even a walking workout. Although those things are important,
yes,
and we shouldn't minimize that and the necessity of it. Those things are great. But it's a little frightening to think that there are 30 chronic, real significant health issues that come just from sitting down, even if you might get up in the morning and run a 5K, or something like that. That's concerning to me.
Well, and then what I've noticed as I've gotten older, and I am getting older, is I could sit for hours when I was 30 and get up and move and not feel a thing. But now when I've sat for very long, if I get up to move, it takes a while for the muscles to loosen up.
It's because you were sitting so much when you were 30.
That's probably true.
Motion is lotion for our joints.
So sometimes I just need to get up just for that purpose.
Yeah.
And then also as I'm getting older, the bladder's smaller. So
there you go.
More motivation to get up.
Well, that's helping you get more active.
That's what I'm saying.
So
motivation
there's a side benefit for you there.
Drink water, and it'll help you get up every hour.
And the water's good for you as well.
The water's great for you, as we've discussed.
We've talked about that. Well, I like that idea of as you said, just go to the printer. every once in a while. When you print something, stand up and go to the printer and just look for ways to move around and just simple little things that can make a big difference.
One of the research studies has shown that for people that are diabetic or pre-diabetic, that just taking a gentle 10-minute walk after meals can cut their blood sugar in half, so dramatically reduce the spike in blood sugar that they might get after a meal. And it's not taking a fast-paced walk, just a simple stroll.
It's not like you got to put on your shorts and tank top and running shoes and go run. You're talking about just a stroll, just a walk.
Not talking about cardiovascular here. We're talking about moving muscles.
Correct. And for individuals that are maybe obese and are struggling with the idea of how do I get started with an exercise program, they might have joint issues, that just starting with a basic walking program is attainable. There isn't a financial impact involved with it. So for individuals that are struggling with how to lose weight, if they are not already doing a walking program, just start with a simple walking program. Get an easy tracking device that can help you track your steps, and each day just try to set a goal to step maybe 100 more steps a day to increase their time that they're spending moving.
It is amazing how resilient our bodies are too, and how quickly the bodies will respond to the activity, to the things we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
We're running a little short on time, but I do have a question. I'll bet you a lot of us got a Fitbit for Christmas or something similar. That's a brand name, but a tracking device. What's your take on the use of these technology devices that you would wear, and tell us where we're at?
They're excellent motivators. There's been so much research that's been done on the devices and the use of the devices, and people that do use the devices, especially for tracking steps, get a tremendous amount more of steps in their day, and that can easily make a 300 to 500 calorie difference a day, which when we're trying to lose weight, a 500 calorie a day differential can make that difference of losing a pound a week, a pound or two.
Or it can open up an extra donut. Let's look on the really bright side.
Yeah, one or the other. I mean, they're both good things, right?
That's right.
Excellent. Well, any last second advice just to share with people about how to, maybe just make their life a little bit better?
With getting more movement in, we'll go back to starting with the New Year's resolutions, and whether or not you consider yourself somebody who makes New Year's resolutions is to just set a simple goal for yourself to be more active each day and find one behavior in your day that you can just tie some additional activity to. So if you spend time on the computer every morning, set a timer so that you're getting up at least once every hour and moving. Find those opportunities to capture more movement throughout your day.
That's such great advice. And I love just what you focused on how simple it is to do something that will actually have long-term significant health benefits. They're easy. They're easy things.
Yes.
You just have to make the commitment to make sure that you do it.
And find a friend that can support you in that commitment.
That's right.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Karen. We appreciate you being here with us.
It's been great.
Thanks for having me
sharing your expertise, and we hope to have you in again sometime. So that is all the time that we have for the show, but just a couple of things to kind of wrap us up here. It is a new year.
It is.
And that means that we're getting ready for the 2016 games. We've been getting ready for the last couple months since the games were over.
Right.
But this is a big year for us.
It is.
We're going to be talking about it a lot, but this is our 30th anniversary. It's a big one. So we hope, in speaking about New Year's resolutions, that if you are 50 or over, that you will consider choosing the Huntsman World Senior Games as one of your resolutions.
Write it down.
Write it down. Get a friend.
Now.
Get a friend.
And both
get
of
a
you
coach.
Write it down.
Anyway, we got lots of good things planned and exciting things coming up for our 30th anniversary celebration. The dates for the 2016 games are October 3rd through the 15th. So plan to participate. Get a team, come as an individual, whatever it takes. Team registration, I should mention, is open right now.
Right.
So you can register your team right now at seniorgames.net. Individual registration will start on March 1st. And we're looking forward to giving away some free registration. So you want to make sure that you like us on Facebook,
That's right.
Twitter, all those social media accounts.
Check out our website occasionally, too, in case something shows up there.
SeniorGames.net is the website. We want to invite you also to tune in next Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time on AM 1450 or FM 93.1 for the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. Remember that you can listen to this and any previous episode right from our website at SeniorGames.net. And our inspirational thought for the day from perhaps the greatest philosopher of all times, Socrates.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but building the new.
That's great.
Until next Thursday, stay active.
Bye, everyone.